Enter the Warrens' Paranormal Pioneers. Ed and Lorraine Warren were world-renowned paranormal investigators. They captured the public's imagination. Their cases inspired books and movies. The Warrens investigated some of the most famous paranormal cases. These included the Amityville Horror and the Annabelle doll. Ed, a World War II veteran, became a self-proclaimed demonologist. Lorraine claimed to be a clairvoyant and a medium. Together, they founded the New England Society for Psychic Research in 1952. They began investigating hauntings and other paranormal phenomena. The Warrens' work garnered immense popularity. They were featured in books, documentaries, and movies. Their most famous investigations continue to fascinate and frighten people worldwide. However, their work has not been without controversy. Skeptics and critics have questioned the validity of their findings. They point to a lack of scientific evidence and potential for fabrication. Let's delve into some of the Warrens' most notorious cases. We will separate fact from fiction. Join me as we explore the truth behind these chilling tales. The Amityville Horror story is one of the most famous paranormal cases. It centers on a house in Amityville, New York. In 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered 6 members of his family in the home. A year later, the Lutz family moved in. They claimed to experience strange and disturbing events. These events included cold spots, foul odors, and disembodied voices. George Lutz even claimed to have levitated. The family fled the house after only 28 days. The Warrens were called in to investigate. They claimed the house was infested with demonic forces. They even conducted an exorcism. The Warrens' involvement cemented the Amityville Horror in paranormal history. However, skeptics argue that the Lutz family's story is a fabrication. They point to inconsistencies in their accounts. Some believe the family invented the haunting for financial gain. The police found no evidence of paranormal activity. Annabelle the doll is another iconic symbol of the Warrens' paranormal investigations. The story goes that a nursing student received the doll as a gift in 1970. The doll allegedly began to move on its own. It left creepy messages. The student and her roommate contacted the Warrens. They were convinced that the doll was possessed by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. The Warrens took possession of the doll. They placed it in their occult museum in Connecticut. The Annabelle doll remains a popular attraction. It has inspired several movies. But, like many of the Warrens' cases, the story of Annabelle has been met with skepticism. Critics argue that there is no concrete evidence to support the claims of possession. The Enfield Poltergeist case is one of the most internationally recognized cases investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren. It took place in Enfield, England, in the late 1970s. The case centered around the Hodgson family. They claimed to experience poltergeist activity in their council house. The alleged haunting included objects moving, disembodied voices, and even levitation. 11-year-old Janet Hodgson seemed to be the focus. The case attracted significant media attention. It drew in paranormal investigators from around the world. Ed and Lorraine Warren were among the investigators who traveled to Enfield. They believed the haunting to be genuine. However, the Enfield Poltergeist case remains highly debated. Skeptics suggest that the events were either hoaxes or misinterpretations of natural occurrences. Some believe the young girls, seeking attention, fabricated much of the activity. Others argue that environmental factors, such as infrasound, could have contributed to the perceived paranormal phenomena. Section 5. The Snedeker Haunting, Fact or Fiction? The Snedeker Haunting, also known as the Southington Haunting, took place in Southington, Connecticut. In 1986, the Snedeker family claimed that their newly rented home was haunted. The family reported a range of paranormal activity. They experienced physical assaults, objects moving, and the appearance of menacing entities. The haunting reportedly intensified after the family discovered that their home had once been a funeral home. Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated. They claimed to have documented evidence of demonic activity in the house. The case inspired the 1991 book and 2009 film, The Haunting in Connecticut. Skeptics of the Snedeker haunting highlight inconsistencies in the family's accounts. They question the validity of the Warrens' evidence. Some suggest that the family's history of mental illness and substance abuse may have contributed to their experiences. Section 6. The Exorcism of Anna Cheyenne Johnson, Demonic Possession, or Legal Loophole. The Exorcism of Anna Cheyenne Johnson, also known as the Devil Made Me Do It case, is one of the most controversial cases involving the Warrens. In 1976, Anna Cheyenne Johnson, a young man from Connecticut, was accused of murdering his landlord. Johnson's defense was unique. He claimed he was not guilty by reason of demonic possession. He said he was possessed by a demon that had previously possessed David Glatzel, the younger brother of Johnson's fiancée, Debbie Glatzel. Ed and Lorraine Warren had been involved in a series of exorcisms performed on David Glatzel prior to the murder. They testified in court that they believed Johnson was possessed. The judge rejected Johnson's defense. He was convicted of manslaughter. The case sparked a debate about the validity of demonic possession as a legal defense. Critics argued that the Warrens' involvement in the case was exploitative. They suggested that they used the case to promote themselves and their beliefs. The case remains a subject of fascination and debate. It raises questions about the intersection of the law, psychology, and the paranormal. Section 7. Skepticism and Scrutiny. A critical lens on the Warrens' work. Ed and Lorraine. Warren's investigations have been met with a great deal of skepticism and scrutiny over the years. Critics point to a lack of scientific evidence to support their claims of paranormal activity. They argue that many of the Warrens' investigations lacked proper documentation and controls. This raises questions about the possibility of contamination, suggestion, and even outright fraud. Some skeptics suggest that the Warrens were more interested in promoting their beliefs and their brand than in conducting objective investigations. They argue that the Warrens often sensationalized their findings. They used fear and superstition to gain notoriety and financial gain. It is important to note that skepticism does not equal disbelief. Skepticism is a valuable tool in any field, especially when dealing with extraordinary claims. It encourages critical thinking, demands evidence, and helps to separate fact from fiction. Section 8. The Warrens' Methods, a closer look. Ed and Lorraine Warren employed a variety of methods in their paranormal investigations. These methods included using cameras, audio recorders, and EMF detectors. They also relied heavily on Lorraine's claimed psychic abilities. However, many of their methods have been criticized by skeptics. They point out that many of the tools the Warrens used can easily be misinterpreted. They argue that Lorraine's psychic abilities have never been scientifically proven. The lack of scientific rigor in the Warrens' methods has cast doubt on the validity of their findings. It highlights the importance of approaching paranormal claims with a healthy dose of skepticism. It emphasizes the need for rigorous scientific investigation. Section 9. The Power of Belief, the Warrens' Enduring Appeal. Despite the controversies and criticisms, Ed and Lorraine Warren's work continues to captivate audiences worldwide. Their stories, though often disputed, tap into our primal fears and our fascination with the unknown. The Warrens provided a sense of comfort to those who believe they have experienced the paranormal. Their investigations, regardless of their validity, offered a glimpse into a world beyond our understanding. The Warrens' legacy highlights the power of belief and the enduring human fascination with the supernatural. Section 10. The Legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren, a Mixed Bag. The legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren is a mixed bag. On one hand, they are considered pioneers in the field of paranormal investigation. They popularized demonology and brought paranormal investigations into the mainstream. Their cases continue to inspire books, movies, and television shows, ensuring that their names remain synonymous with the supernatural. On the other hand, their work has been widely criticized for its lack of scientific rigor and its potential for exploitation. Skeptics argue that they profited from fear and superstition. They question the validity of their evidence and the ethics of their methods. Section 11. Conclusion: Separating fact from fiction in the world of the paranormal. The world of the paranormal is a realm of mystery, speculation, and belief. Ed and Lorraine Warren dedicated their lives to exploring this realm. They left behind a complex legacy that continues to fascinate and divide. While their work has been both celebrated and criticized, there is no denying their impact on popular culture and the enduring human interest in the supernatural. As we continue to grapple with the unknown, it is crucial to approach claims of the paranormal with a critical eye. We must strive to separate fact from fiction. The pursuit of truth in any realm, requires a healthy dose of skepticism, a commitment to evidence-based inquiry, and a willingness to question even our most deeply held beliefs. Only then can we hope to unravel the mysteries of the paranormal and gain a deeper understanding of the universe we inhabit.